in Healthcare Management from Medversity and Apollo Hospitals Education and Research Foundation. Madam is currently serving as Director cum Professor, Department of Business Management, RBVRR Women's College. Madam has more than 27 years of teaching experience at postgraduate level in the college and has served the institution at various capacities, which includes Madam worked as Associate Professor in the Department of Business Management for a period of 5 years, Assistant Professor in the Department of Business Management for a period of 11 years. Madam was nominated as Governing Body Member in the year 2013. Madam was a member of Diamond Jubilee Celebration Committee. Madam is a convener for In-House Newsletter Committee. Madam is also a convener for Research Advisory Committee and Management Development Program. Madam is also convener for Management Development Programs in Hyderabad Management Association and also MC member in HMA. There are several feathers in Ma'am's cap. To name a few, Madam has organized more than 20 workshops, seminars, and job fairs in the college. Madam has presented several papers in national and international conferences and published more than 21 research articles in reputed journals, including UGC and Scopus Index. Madam has published 2 books and has received 2 patents in her credit. Madam has also launched the RBVRR Journal of Management Research and was also an editor for an ISBN book. Madam was recognized as a research guide by Madurai Kamaraju University in the year 2006 and by the Rayalaseema University in the year 2010. Madam has completed 2 minor research projects which are funded by University Grants Commission. Madam has implemented several best practices in the Department of Business Management in her tenure. It is indeed a pleasure to have you here, ma'am. With this brief introduction, I hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vasvi. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Good morning. Can I get the response in the chat box, please? Good morning, all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Yeah, can I start my
Good
session?
morning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We are waiting for that.
Yeah, very wonderful to see you.
Yes, ma'am, we are waiting.
Eagerly waiting, madam.
I'm sure your good morning wishes would be helping me do my session excellently. Thank you, all the participants that you have joined on time. And can I start my session, your audience?
Yes, ma'am. You can start your session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah. So good morning again to all the participants and the faculty members present here. I would like to start with a small quotation on research ethics. Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. So before I start the session, let me have a small poll for you all to understand about research ethics. Can we have the poll, please? Yeah. Dr. Lalita, can we have the poll, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. The first question of poll. Yeah. Is it done? So, dear faculty members, I would expect you all to use the chat box as much as possible when I ask you questions, because we will mute your microphones. We will mute your microphones. So please kindly use the chat box. So let me see how many chat messages today I'll be getting in the chat box. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Poll is not visible. That is what is a question one of the faculty member is telling. Yeah. Is a poll not visible? Yes, Lalita. Okay. Okay. In the meantime, yeah. One second. In the meantime, let me start and till the poll is visible to all. So let me start with what is a research ethics? Yeah. Can you please share the PPT, Lalita? So dear participants, I will read the first question on research ethics that you have polled for. How far do you consider yourself ethical in your research? This is a question I've asked in the poll before I started with values, morals, and research ethics. So out of 220 answers, 180 faculty members are saying that very ethical, and 15 are saying not so ethical. At times only, they are 36 are saying, at times only 36 faculty members are saying ethical. I appreciate your frankness and appreciate your answers. So yes, that's wonderful. Yeah. Let me go to the first part of research ethics, right? So what is research ethics? If you have to understand what is research ethics, it's basically, providing guidelines for the responsible conduct of research. Research ethics educates and monitors researchers conducting research to ensure a high ethical standard. Now let us see the history, like from where this research ethics has started. If you see that is a history. The birth of modern research ethics began with a desire to protect human subjects involved in research projects. The first attempt to craft regulations began during the doctor's trial in 1946 and 1947. The doctor's trial was a segment of the Nuremberg trials for the Nazi war criminals. In the doctor's trial, 23 German Nazi physicians were accused of conducting abhorrent and tortious experiments with concentration camp inmates. The accused physicians tortured and brutalized, crippled and murdered thousands of victims in the name of research. Some of their experiments involved gathering scientific information about the limits of the human body by exposing victims to extreme temperatures and altitudes. The most gruesome and destructive experiments tested how quickly a human could be put in order to carry out the Nazi racial purification policies most efficiently. The prosecute to the prosecute or to the accused Nazi doctors for the atrocities they committed, a list of ethical guidelines for the conduct of research, the Nuremberg Code, was developed. So, dear faculty members, let's see what do we have in the Nuremberg Code. What are the 10 basic ethical principles that accused violated? If you understand the Nuremberg Code, it says that participants must voluntarily consent to research participation. Research aims should contribute to the good of society. Research must be based on sound theory and prior animal testing. And it must also avoid unnecessary physical and mental suffering. No research projects can go forward where serious injury or death are potential outcomes. The degree of risk taken with research participants cannot exceed the anticipated benefit of results. There should be a proper environment and protection for participants is necessary. Experiments can be conducted only by scientifically qualified persons. Human subjects must be allowed to discontinue their participation if a participant would like to discontinue at any time. Scientists must be prepared to terminate the experiment if there is a cause to believe that continuation will be harmful or results in injury or a death. Scientists must be prepared to terminate the experiment if there is a cause to believe that continuation will be harmful or result in injury. Now, these are the Nuremberg guidelines, which basically pave the way for the next major initiative design. After this, lot of scientists, lot of people came out with new research ethics. And finally, now we are where today we'll discuss few of the research ethics. Now, can we take a poll? Can we take one more poll? Yes, can we have a poll, please? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah. I know it's taking some time for you to put the poll because fine. In the meantime, before the polls are there on the screen, so instead of wasting time, let me continue with why. Yeah, I can see there is a poll. Okay, there's a poll on the pressure, that is question on pressure. Yeah, please answer the poll. The question says that the research conducted by me is purely for professional advancement. How many of you say sometimes, never, and how many of you say always? Let me see how many are answering this poll. Let me check this. After you answer this poll, then I will tell you why should we discuss about research ethics. So there we go. We have got 272 responses. That's what I can see on the screen. They are 278. Oh my God. The minute I want to read the number, that is the poll, the faculty members are answering the poll, right? Fine. So dear participants, I would like to say the polls are very important for you. Please, right? Okay, fine. Let me tell you a question on pressure. I can see on the screen that out of 281 responses, 119 are saying that sometimes. That is, when we talk about that is purely professional advancement. Some are saying never. The sum number happens to be 18. And 144 are saying always. Okay. Now, what is this question on pressure? Let me discuss the question on pressure. We are talking here about the point pressure where most of you wanted to do a 10-day FDP, 10-day workshop, 10-day orientation program, because you also have your pressure from your institutions, organizations, colleges for your CS programs. So what is happening is that half of you are, present on your, switching on your Zoom meeting, and half of them, they also do the multitasking. So when I see this, and I don't say that you are wrong, your classwork is important, your FDP is important, and I feel that everything you want to do on a very single day and get the most out of it. Okay, I understand you. I totally agree with you, but let us know why there is a need for you all to know that is the study of research ethics. Once you know that is the why study of research ethics, then I'm sure you will change your mind and you will be serious and you will be focused on one particular thing at a time. Okay. Knowing what constitutes ethical research is very, very important for all people who conduct research projects or use and apply the results from research findings. Remember, researchers, that you should be familiar with the basic ethical principles and have up-to-date knowledge about the policies, the procedures which are designed to ensure the safety of research subjects so that you can prevent sloppy and irresponsible research, because ignorance of policies designed to protect research subject is not considered a viable excuse for ethically questionable projects. Therefore, dear friends, it's a duty of all that the duty lies with the researcher to seek out and fully understand the policies and theories which are designed to guarantee upstanding research practices. As you know that research is a public trust that must be ethically conducted, trustworthy, socially responsible, if the results are to be valuable. All the parts of the research project, from the project design to the submission of the results for peer review, you have to understand that you have to be upstanding in the order to be considered ethical. Even when one part of the research project is questionable or conducted unethically, the integrity of the entire project is called into question. So, my dear friends, so that is the reason I say research ethics is very, very important for you as well as for me also. So let us first start with what is this authorship and who can be the authors, who can be the co-authors, and how can we understand the point authorship. So dear faculty members and participants, let me tell you that it is basically a process of deciding whose names belong on a research paper. See, in many cases, what happens is that research evolves from collaboration and assistance between experts and colleagues. Some of these assistants will require acknowledgement and some will require joint authorship. I hope you agree with me. So responsible authorship practices are an important part of research. So reporting and analyzing results is a key to applying research findings to the real world. Despite its vital role, authorship remains a murky and a vague area for many researchers who frequently run into difficulty. Please understand this. And when deciding which colleagues should be listed as authors or co-authors, and which colleagues should instead receive acknowledgement. Despite the challenges, researchers should familiarize themselves with proper authorship practices in order to protect their work and ideas while also preventing research fraud. Now, dear friends, let us know what are the ethical guidelines that you are supposed to follow for the authorship. Okay, now please understand the guidelines, like how do you decide author, co-author. Each person listed as an author on an article should have significantly contributed to both the research and writing. In addition, all listed authors must be prepared to accept full responsibility for the content of the research article. Now listen, authorship credit should be based only on substantial contribution to conception and design, acquisition of data, analysis and interpretation of data, drafting the articles or revising it critically for important intellectual property content, final approval of the version to be authorship. There is a question raised by many of them when they contribute to the research. Can I be a co-author? Yes, sure. Why not? You can be a co-author, but only if you remember, if you have contributed substantially to the research, and you must have wrote or revised all or some part of the manuscript and approved the final version of the entire article. Right. Fine. So, dear faculty members, can we have a case study on authorship? If yes, please can I see it in the chat box? Some responses. I want today my chat box be filled with so many texts about the session. So can we have in the chat box, that is, can we have a case study? And all of you please listen to the case study very carefully, because there would be a poll coming after the case study. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, listen to the case study. There is a case study which has really happened. Okay, Jamal is a graduate student working under the supervision of Professor Dr. Kerry. Dr. Kerry is conducting research on tooth decay and has gathered data from hundreds of dental patients. Jamal uses Dr. Kerry's data to analyze and research questions that he came up with on his own about tooth enamel erosion. His question is his own data or his own idea, but is still based on what he learned about tooth and enamel decay under Dr. Kerry. Jamal's friend, Darcy, she helped Jamal design a statistical computer program for data analysis, but did not contribute in any other way to the research. When writing up his results, Dr. Kerry, she helped Jamal write methods section of his manuscript and reviewed his final results and conclusion, as well as the final draft of the entire manuscript also. Now, dear friends, can you please tell me, how should authorship be decided in this case? How should authorship be decided in this case? Yes. Can I have the poll, please? Yes, thank you, Dr. Lalita. Yeah, let's see and check the polls. Yes. Okay, let me read the case study on authorship. The question that has been there on the screen: who should be included in the authorship of the article? Jamal and Dr. Kerry? Jamal alone? Dr. Kerry alone? Jamal, Dr. Kerry and Darcy. Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. I'm getting very good answers. Yes, yes, very good. Very good. Let me just wait before I conclude. Only 247, that's all. I can see every day, I get feedback links at least from 600 participants. But when I'm putting a poll, only 247. Oh my God, we are talking about research ethics. Anyway, let me conclude this by seeing the poll on the screen. Out of 247, 127 faculty members are claiming that Jamal and Dr. Kerry should be there, claiming for the authorship. And 16 are saying that only Jamal alone should be claiming the authorship. And 96 of them, they're saying that Jamal, Dr. Kerry, and Darcy should be claiming the authorship. Okay, fine. So that's wonderful. I appreciate the faculty members who have polled for this authorship. Now, please listen to the answer and cross-check whether whatever you've polled is matching with the case study. See, dear participants, it's not mandatory that case studies should match. What I give the answer and what you're answering should match. But today we are discussing about research ethics, and all the cases are about research ethics. Therefore, obviously, there should be some close answers that we can relate it. Now let's see what that is the actual answer would be. If I go by research ethics in authorship, Jamal should be listed first as the primary author because he is most closely involved in the research project. Okay, fine. Dr. Carey should be listed second as co-author because she meets the requirements of authorship. And Darcy does not meet the criteria for authorship, but she should be acknowledged for her contribution if so consents. If she asks, yeah, I also want somewhere or the other my name. Okay, fine. There's nothing wrong that her name is mentioned in the acknowledgement. So dear faculty members, did you like the authorship case study? If yes, please put it in the chat box. Yes. If you did not like, please, you can also put it as no, there is no problem. Right. Now let me move on to the next one, that is research misconduct. Please understand why research misconduct is very, very important for each one of us and where you can apply this. Basically, it is a process, it's a process of identifying and reporting unethical or unsound research. See, we can talk about misconduct as a fabrication, falsification, plagiarism in proposing, performing, reviewing research, in reporting research results also. Now, what can be fabrication? It's simply making up data or results and recording or reporting them. And falsification is manipulating. What is falsification? You're manipulating research materials. You're manipulating research equipment. You're manipulating the entire process. You're changing everything. You're omitting some data. And what are you doing? You want some results in your favor. And all the results, because you want them in the favor, so therefore not accurately represented. And obviously, the research record has got all the false information. Plagiarism, it's the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, words. You do not give any credit to that person. Now, let us know how can we understand the ethical guidelines. How can we understand the ethical guidelines? Now, you tell me who's responsible. You tell me who's responsible for reviewing instances of research misconduct. You are responsible. You yourself are responsible. So, any person who knows that research is being conducted unethically should raise his or her voice, her concern to the appropriate authorities. Whether that person is involved in the research or not. Dear friends, the first step, the very first step in this situation or in this instance may likely be confidential conversation with a person who's in charge of research integrity at an institution, at an organization. Once research misconduct has been identified, all parties involved in the research must take responsibility to resolve the situation. including the principal investigator, the co-investigator, the institution hosting the research, even the funding agency and publishing journal editors, if it is applicable. So, dear friends, are you all ready for the case study? Yes, fine. Now let's understand the case study, and I would expect a text after the case study that you liked it or not, right? Now we are going to do a case study on what? Can somebody type it in the chat box? It's about misconduct. So Marcus and Clay have been working on a research project, and they are studying the prevalence of pneumonia in nursing home residents. So what are they studying? They're studying prevalence of pneumonia in nursing home residents. Marcus learns that while Clay is interviewing research participant, if he does not elicit an answer, now what is he doing? He invents one and passes it off as truthful data collection. This is what he's doing. Marcus questions Clay and he denies the allegation. Now you tell me, what should Marcus do? Please, you tell me, what should Marcus do? Okay, you can put it in the chat box. You can put in the chat box. After you put in the chat box, I will try to tell you, what is the case all about and how it can be solved. And whatever points I have mentioned to you during explanation of the misconduct will be discussed, taking Marcus and Clay, the case study, into consideration. Okay, fine. Now let's see what is the result of the doings of Marcus and Clay. Marcus is obligated to report Clay's activity to the person in charge of the research project. If this person does not respond and the behavior continues, what is he supposed to do? Marcus should then go to his institution officer, that is a research integrity team, and he's supposed to report to them. Marcus should not embellish any information or make assumptions, but merely report his observations. Please understand that. If Marcus is worried about his working relationship with Clay and the project leadership, he should also report the concern to the research integrity office. So, dear friends, I hope that you understood the case on research misconduct. And here we have a poll on research misconduct. Yeah, the question goes like this. The question goes like this. Research misconduct is a result of mistake, negligence, lazy, unintentional act, or all the above. We have a poll, and let me check how many of them they are answering this poll. Let me check. Yeah, that's wonderful. I can see that more than 278 have answered. Okay, and let me say that out of 278, there are 15 faculty members who are saying that research misconduct is purely a mistake, and 38 are saying that it is negligence, and around 1 says that 0 are saying that lazy, unintentional act. Okay, and around 224 faculty members. I appreciate this answer, that they are saying that research misconduct is a result of mistake, negligence, lazy, unintentional act. So I really appreciate for this answer from the faculty members. Okay, I'm so happy, dear faculty members. You are thoroughly following what I would like to say. I'm so happy. Right. So slowly let us move on to the next one, plagiarism. I know that you must have heard plagiarism whenever you start, whenever you are in the process, when you're about to submit, plagiarism check, the percentage should be not less than, it should be, it should be less than 10%. It should not be beyond this. You start panicking. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Let us understand what is plagiarism and what are the guidelines that you can simply follow to check the plagiarism. So plagiarism is an act of passing off somebody else's ideas. It can be not only ideas, it can also be thoughts, it can be pictures, it can be theories, stories, words. No, you're claiming that, oh, it's mine. You're trying to put it's mine because you're putting a name there. If a researcher plagiarizes the work of others, they are bringing into question. What are they bringing into question? Oh my God, the integrity, ethics, and trustworthiness, and all of them put together, the sum total of his or research. You're putting all of this, into problem. In addition, plagiarism is both, please understand that it is an illegal act. It is a punishable act and considered to be on the same level as stealing from an author that which he or she originally must have created. So, dear friends, plagiarism takes many forms. Please, you have to, look into this aspect of plagiarism. On one end of the spectrum are people who are intentionally taking a passage, word to word, word from word, put it in their own work. And what they do, they do not properly credit the original author. This is the mistake you do. If you credit the author, you are safe. The other end consists of unintentional, but simply you become very lazy. So what are you doing? Unintentional, paraphrased and fragmented text you have pieced together from several works, without properly citing the original source. See, no part of the spectrum of the potential plagiaristic act are tolerated, can be tolerated by the scientific community. And research manuscripts will be rejected by the publishers if they contain any form of plagiarism, including unintentional plagiarism. See, I cannot see somewhere, I cannot measure with a machine saying that you were intentionally doing it, you were unintentionally doing it. So we cannot measure. So that is the reason straight away rejected by the publishers. So please understand that you have to follow some guidelines to check for the plagiarism. Okay, now how can you do a check? How can you follow the guidelines? Simple guidelines, if you keep it in your mind that this is to not be done, it should not be done. Okay, so a researcher, if you are preparing or if you're writing a manuscript, see to it that you should cite the original source, okay, from where you have taken this manuscript from. Very simple. Follow the guideline. Better quote another person's actual words. You know, when you're writing or when you're using them orally, okay. Paraphrases, you know, when you're trying to paraphrase the other person's words, or, you know, you're trying to use other person's ideas or their opinion, or it can be a theory. You also must be borrowing some facts. Most of them, they take up statistics. Okay. In the last, I'll tell you one statistic slide. I'll show it to you one statistic slide. What happened with the retracted, you know, work of the researchers. I'll show if time permits. Okay. So what are you doing? You're borrowing some facts. You are taking the statistics and you feel that, oh, I have done the statistics. I have done the calculations. You also steal away the illustrative materials. And, you know, you feel that all that is yours. Unless the information is common knowledge, please understand the rules of plagiarism. They also apply to graphics, text, visuals. Please, it also applies to traditional forms of publication, old publications, long back publications. And it also includes to the modern form of publications as well. Remember that. What is a modern form of publication? Most of you take it from World Wide Web. The data is picked up from World Wide Web. Now see here, if a substantial amount of another person's graphics text will be lifted from a web page, what are you supposed to do? An author should ask a permission to use the material from the original author or the website host. To avoid unintentional or accidental plagiarizing of another person's work, please, I'll give you some tips. You can follow these tips, and when you do your research, you can remember me and say, oh yeah, one madam lecture when we heard, she told some tips. Cite all ideas and information that is not your own or that is not common knowledge. Please understand that. It's not a common knowledge. Please better cite it. Always use quotation marks if you are using someone else's words. That is at the beginning of a paraphrased section. Show that what comes next is someone else's original data. And what you can do, at the end of the paraphrase section, please place the proper citation. Please place the proper citation. And now I want to tell you that redundant publication constitute a special type of plagiarism, which I would not be able to tell in today's session because I do not have that much of time to go into in-depth of plagiarism. So dear faculty members, you have to be again ready for the case study, and you should put it in the chat box, few answers, whether what is going to be the result of the case study. This case study is on plagiarism, right? Now, Belinda is publishing her first article, that builds on the research of a similar project she did 3 years prior with her colleague. Jerry, no, she did with her colleague. The colleague's name happens to be Jerry, right? In Belinda's current article, she has placed a graph from the article she and Jerry co-authored about their previous research. Jerry created the original graph. Does Belinda have to cite the previous article? Here goes the question. Now, please put in the chat box. Please put in the chat box, what do you have to say? I want the chat box to be filled today, like with your correct answers. And what do you feel? What do you felt about the case study? Fine. Right. Oh, fine. That's good. That's really good. Fine. Yes. So let's understand about the case study. Now here, what is the question? Does Belinda have to cite the previous article? Oh, yes. That's really fantastic. The answer says that yes, she is supposed to cite the previous article. See, Belinda is using the ideas of another person. Even though the graph came from an article she herself worked on, she should appropriately cite the prior publication to show that the data and the results depicted in the graph are not new and they have been previously published. And the idea originated with another entity. It was not her idea. So in this situation, the other entity is a research team of Belinda and Jerry. So dear friends, did you like the case study? If yes, can you put it in the chat box? Yeah. Can we have a poll? Can we have a poll? Yes. Can we have a poll for plagiarism? Yes. Yeah. Yes. The question goes here on plagiarism. If a researcher plagiarizes the work of others, is he bringing into question what? Integrity and ethics? Ethics, trustworthiness? Trustworthiness of his research? Or all the above? Fine. 257 faculty members have answered this question. And the result goes here on the screen. Out of 257, 19 faculty members are saying integrity and ethics. Okay, fine, that's good. And only 5 are saying ethics, trustworthiness. 7 are saying that plagiarism, trustworthiness of his research. And 226 are saying that if a researcher plagiarizes the work of others, he is bringing into question the integrity, ethics, trustworthiness of his research, all the above. So all the above is put into problem. So please try to understand that, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to be very careful in terms of a check on plagiarism? Yes. So did you like the case study and the poll on plagiarism? Can I have in the chat box yes or no, good, bad, whatever you want to tell? Right. I'll take it positively. But let's move on to the next one about research ethics. We would be I would be telling you about what is a peer review. What is a peer review? Which is very important. Researchers should know how the process of peer review happens. Basically, it's a step-by-step process. Peer review is a the step-by-step process in which an author, he submits a written manuscript. It can be an article, to a journal for a publication. And the journal editor, what is he doing? He's distributing the article or the manuscript, to experts working in the same or similar or scientific discipline. So what is happening after this? The experts, otherwise, called the reviewers, and the editor then enter the peer review process. They enter into a peer review process. And what's happening here? The process involves certain steps. So, the steps can be, different, depends upon, the team, who are a part of the peer review. So, but all may be, all may be in common. 95% would be in common. Now, see what happens here. Reviewers and editors read, and what they do, they evaluate the article. After that, submit the reviews back to the journal editor. And then what they do, the journal editor will take all the comments, including their own, and he communicates this feedback to the original author. The peer review process, seldom proceeds in a very, very straight line, frank to the point. The entire process may involve several rounds of communication between the editor, the reviewers, and the original author before an article is ready for the publication. Now, dear friends, you should know the guidelines for peer review publications. Now, what can be the guidelines? The two important ethical concepts in the peer review process are confidentiality and protection of intellectual property. Reviewers should not know the author they are reviewing, and the author should not know, should not be told the names of the reviewer. So this has to be maintained, and they maintain also. Please remember this, you'll get a case study on this. Only by maintaining strict confidentiality guidelines, what does the peer review process? They will be truly open and beneficial. And what happens? Likewise, please, no person involved in the peer review process, it can be either the editor or the reviewer, or it can be the journal staff. They can publicly disclose the information in the article. They cannot do that. Or they cannot use the information in a submitted article for personal gain. So these are the rules. So don't get scared. Once you submit, do not be worried that your information, your article, it is in the safe hands. They cannot do anything about that. Peer reviewers, in addition to maintaining confidentiality, they can neither conflicted nor political in their review. Please understand that. So you are safe. Okay. So what is happening? Conflicts may take in the form of a financial conflict. And conflicts if the research is too similar in their own research endeavors. Or there could be a conflict due to personal relationship. There could be reasons like that. Why there is a conflict due to personal relationship? Because with the authors, or there could be some other reason. One method is, for an editor to approach 2 to 3 reviewers and then ask an author to change the article to satisfy all reviews. This is one option. And one more option can be that an editor may take all the reviews and consolidate the advice to help guide the author when he has to make some changes, or when he's supposed to take some clarifications, or when he's supposed to go for the necessary corrections. Editors must not relinquish too many of their own responsibilities to the peer reviewers. So the peer review process represents one step in publishing process, and editors need to take full responsibility for their decision to include an article in their journal. So dear friends, are you all ready for a case study? Yes or no? Are you ready for a case study? Yes or no? Yeah. Can I see in the chat box? Are you ready for the case study? Fine. Right. Let me tell you a case study. When we talk about peer reviews, Dr. Connelly is a faculty member at Springer University. He has been asked to review a publication for a biomedical journal. And after receiving the article, he realizes the author is a student working under the guidance of a fellow faculty member in a neighboring department. See, the faculty member, happened to mention the merits of the student at a recent social gathering. Now, you have to tell me, does Dr. Connelly have a reportable conflict of interest? When we talk about peer review, you have to think and kindly text me in the chat box. What do you feel? What do you feel? What is he supposed to do? Please, you can text it in the chat box. Yes. Yes, fantastic. I don't know, I'm so happy that, I'm getting a lot of responses when I ask a question. That itself makes a happy for a resource person when, the participants respond. Now see here what happened with this case study. The peer review process relies on a foundation of confidentiality. I already told you when I started that is the explanation about what is peer review. Dr. Connelly should contact the journal editor and report his belief that the manuscript originated from the university where he is employed. And what he should do? He and the editor should then open a dialogue about how this could potentially affect his participation in peer review process and how to proceed. So dear faculty members, did you like the case study on peer review? Please put yes in the chat box. If no, no issues. Can we have a poll on peer review? Can we have a poll on peer review? Yes, can we have a poll on peer review? Am I audible? Vasavi, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the poll, Vasavi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Is it happening? It's not happening. Yeah. There goes a poll. Right. Okay. Now, let me tell you, what is the question all about? The two most important ethical concepts in the peer review process are confidentiality, protection of intellectual property. or it is both, that is confidentiality, protection of intellectual property, or it's only confidentiality, or it's only protection of intellectual property. I have received 304, 305 responses, 309, 313, 300, oh my God, 320 responses. And out of that, 15 are saying that confidentiality only. Okay, 13 are saying protection of intellectual property. And I really appreciate the participants. You're really making my day. You are listening to my session. I appreciate it. Almost 295, close to 300 are saying that for the peer review, the two most important ethical concepts are confidentiality, protection of intellectual property. That is the right answer. Thank you for your response. Fine. Right. Now let me move on to the next one, that is conflict of interest. Now let me tell you what is this conflict of interest and why are you supposed to understand conflict of interest in research ethics. Dear participants, I would like to say that I would like to end my session sharp at 11:27, so that whatever I can do, I will try to complete in that particular time. If it's not possible, okay, let's see how can I go about it. But I don't want to do something in a hurry-burry and in a very fast track mode. Now let's understand what is the meaning of conflict of interest. So this happens, the conflict of interest happens when a person's obligation to a particular research project conflict with their personal interest, or it can be the obligations that they have. Now let us see, what happens, a university researcher who owns a stock. He's owning a stock in XYZ pharmaceutical, okay, and is obligated to report truthful and accurate data, but he might be conflicted if faced with data that would hurt the stock prices for the XYZ pharmaceutical. So here, dear researchers, you should attempt to identify potential conflicts of interest in order to confront those issues before they have a chance to do harm or damage. If the conflict of interest do exist, then the objectivity of the researcher and the integrity of the research results can be questioned by any person throughout the research review process. See what is happening? You're trying to put yourself into trouble. It is therefore imperative to address conflicts of interest upfront and discuss how to combat potential lack of objectivity before the researcher is called into question. Okay. Now, what could be the guidelines that you can quickly understand and follow, that you do not make any mistakes when it comes to that is the point, conflict of interest. See, the objectivity in the research, as per the National Institute of Health, there is a guidelines which are given by NIH. For example, I'm just trying to talk about ethical guidelines from one particular organization. If I'm talking from one particular organization, how it happens? Provides guidelines on how investigators are receiving grants from the National Institute of Health. How should they handle the conflicts of interest? There could be a methodology, there could be a mechanism. So in essence, it suggests that investors should disclose to their institution any major or significant financial conflict of interest that might interfere with their ability to conduct a research project objectively. Disclose any such financial conflict of interest of their spouses or dependent children. Okay. Now, dear faculty members, and I'm going to do now a case study. And please, for this case study, there's going to be a poll, right? So please listen to the case study. And I know that you are listening, but still, let me remind you of it. Okay, Dr. Garath is a physician and an investigator on research project for a pharmaceutical company testing a new tropical treatment for a sexually transmitted disease that must be administered frequently and may cause itching and irritation. The company is paying her a rate of $2,000 if she's enrolling one person. Now, does she have a conflict of interest? You have to decide and tell me. Here goes the poll. Conflict of interest is the case study. We have done it just now, and the poll goes. And I just want to take some time for you to answer quickly because I'm running short of time. And I want to cover whatever I have prepared to tell you on research ethics. Let me see, are we reaching to the 300 close polls? Let me check. Oh my God. Right, let me choose, yeah. So, as per the conflict of interest in the case study, 286, 289, 90, yeah, it's going. I'm sure it will go to 300. I'm sure it goes. Yeah, most of you are saying that Dr. Gareth have a conflict of interest. Absolutely right. You are right, and there is no doubt about it. Yes, there is no doubt about it, right? So, almost out of 308 answers, 225 say yes, 24 say no, and 59 are saying can't say. Okay, that's a very good thing. Now let me see. Let me check like what is a solution for this conflict of interest. Okay. Now, when we say, I asked a question that does Dr. Gareth has got a conflict of interest? Yes, absolutely yes is the answer. Now, Dr. Gareth has got an obligation to her patients as the potential to be compromised by her personal interest. While her job is to protect and promote her patients, she's supposed to protect the patient's welfare and health. At $2,000 per person enrolled, she might be tempted, obviously, to recruit more and more people into the study for her personal financial benefit by encouraging patients to participate and downplaying the side effects and burdens of participation. She could do that. Dr. Gareth should very carefully evaluate whether this conflict of interest might impact her patients. It might impact their health, their welfare, and how to solve this potential conflict before agreeing to be an investigator. She has to take it up. She should also report this potential conflict to the proper administration authority at the clinic site before she is practicing. So that is what is the answer to the case on conflict of interest. Fine. Now, I will tell you about what is data management. I will tell you about what is data management, right? Now, when I talk about data management, okay, I'm trying to understand about data management, not from business analytics or any other point of view. I'm just trying to tell you from the research ethics point of view, because data means you'll start becoming alert and you will have so many queries. So no, data management refers to three issues. Please remember that there are three issues: the ethical and truthful collection of reliable data, the ownership and the responsibility of collected data, then retaining data and sharing access to the collected data with colleagues and the public. And remember, dear researchers, that each issue contributes to the integrity of research and can easily be overlooked by researchers. A clear, responsible, ethically sound, and carefully outlined plan for the data management is required. That is required. The data management outline plan is required, please, at the beginning of the research, to prevent all manners of conflict and inappropriate research methods. See, when it is a part of the research, when we talk about while, a part of the research, it encourages, when you talk about research, it only encourages accuracy and verification of data. How are you doing all this? Now, you're doing all this with the help of data sharing. Sometimes data are associated with intellectual property and needed to be protected as such. For this reason, researchers, dear faculty members, please understand that whether to retain or share data can be a fine line for the researchers, who wish to protect. If you want to wish to protect your intellectual property, and you can always do it. Nobody would stop you. But the line must be properly drawn. How? In order to allow a positive aspect of data sharing to occur while protecting the researcher's hard works and ingenuity. So what could be the guidelines as a researcher you can follow? This is very important. I was telling you about the three issues when I talked about, that is the data management. So ethical and truthful data collection, responsibility of data collected and data sharing. This can be addressed by the researchers before and during the establishment of a new project itself. You have to understand the data management before you start the project or before you take up a project. And how will the data be collected? No, you have to think about it. Will the data be collected via phone or through emails, through personal interviews or existing records? Or you wanted to go for a secondary source? No, that's up to you. You have to decide. Will there be identifying information within the data? Oh, if yes, then why? Why? If yes, why? How will this be rectified? How will data be stored? And what kind of privacy and protection issues will result from the method of storage? You should understand, are you going to store the data electronically or on paper? How am I going to store it? And who will ensure, and who's going to ensure that no data were excluded from the final results? And how do you ensure accuracy of the result interpretation? That matters a lot. That is very, very important. How long after the project is over will the data should be kept? This will depend on the source of funding and the organizational policies. So protecting intellectual property while at the same time encouraging data sharing. So these can be the guidelines that you can follow. So let me quickly, do a case study on data management. We have Jenny, who's a researcher at George Kent College. She collected data on rural mental health patients and just published an article on her research in a scholarly journal. Jenny plans to independently write a book about her research and develop educational tools that she can sell to professionals. Jenny is partly funded through her college. Please, you remember this. But most of her research was paid for with a private stipend from a charitable foundation. Jenny is reluctant to publicly disclose her data before her book is finished. She can hold off on sharing her data until she completes her book. Okay, can she? My question is that, can she hold off on sharing her data until she completes her book? That's the question. So you have to answer in the chat box. Can she hold off on sharing her data until she completes a book? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. I appreciate. That's really fantastic to see the faculty members, you all are, really, helping me to do my best. Right. I agree with the faculty members who said yes in the chat box. Yeah. Jenny has published an article, okay, on her data according to what? The NIH policies. There is a guideline which she was supposed to follow. She should be prepared to disclose her data at the time of publication. But however, remember, listen, however, Jenny is not funded with NIH dollars. She would have to use her judgment about publishing her data and be prepared to give a strong reason to the editor of the journal, with whom she agreed to write a book, as to why she isn't sharing her data at this time. Right. So this is about the case study. So can we have a poll regarding the that is the data management? Yeah, can we have a poll? Yeah, Lalita, please take up the poll, and can you like, yeah. The poll goes like this, and please, I'm sure this could be the last poll, so can we have it for some time, Dr. Lalita?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah. When I've checked the poll, I'm so happy, dear faculty members. You made my day. And I just don't want it to, go to the next slide, because I want the maximum polls to be done, okay, for this question, data management. Data management refers to what? The ethical and truthful collection of reliable data, the ownership and responsibility of collected data, or is it retaining data and sharing access to the collected data? Or is it all the above? There are 360 responses I have got for this poll. I'm so happy. Dear faculty members, you made my day. Because this is going to be the last poll. Let me check up whether I can ask Lalita that we can go ahead with the poll without discussing the topics. Fine. So the answer is that for data management, it's very important that the ethical and the truthful collection of reliable data is done. The ownership and responsibility of the collected data is taken care. Retaining data and sharing access to the collected data. So all the above is a right answer. So, dear faculty members, I have I have two more topics to cover. One is about research with animals and research with human subject. These are the two topics, but unfortunately, because there would be a valedictory session which we're going to start in just 2 minutes. So I'm sorry that I would not be able to complete the entire topics which I have prepared, but I would like to end my session now with quick questions from the audiences. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box that I want my faculty members to read it out, a quick 1 or 2 questions so that I can take it before we start, or if there is no time, then I don't want the chief guest to wait for my question answer session to be done, because I respect him a lot. So can I see Dr. Lalita, did the chief guest join?
I'm checking, ma'am.
Yeah. Can we go for reminder calls for with the principal, ma'am, secretary, sirs?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that.
Quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, sir is joining in few minutes, ma'am.
Okay, I would like to tell that I have received almost close to 3,000 messages in the chat box. I have received 3,000 messages, texts in the chat box. It could be yes, no, or it could be excellent, or a wonderful session, or thank you, or I don't know, informative, or I got so many. I hope that by the end of the program, this chat box should at least reach to 5,000. 5,000 messages I'm expecting, that's my target. And I hope that you all would support me in seeing those text messages. Once we are done with the 10-day program, dear faculty members, these are the memories that I would store it in my laptop, in my college. That would be the great things that I'm getting in return from you, which are very, very important for me. Okay, what I am is not important, but what's important is that when you participate and reply to the questions, or when you respond, that makes me so much happy and elated. I'm so happy that today's session, most of you must have enjoyed. Okay. Can we check whether, yeah, sir has joined? I'll just give respect to sir. So good morning, sir. Good morning, Professor Nageshwara, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, you're not audible. Good morning, sir.
Ma'am, I don't think sir has joined yet, ma'am. 1 second.
No, sir has been made co-host.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, that is not
No?
sir's ID, ma'am. No,
Okay, okay. Please, yeah. Lalita, can you withdraw the co-host? I just have to check.
Yes, ma'am. Doing, ma'am.
Yeah, please, can you ask sir to raise the hand, or because there could be many names with, sir's name.
Ma'am, before we officially go off to the valedictory section, I would like to propose a formal vote of thanks, ma'am.
Yes, please, Vasavi, please go ahead.
A very good morning to one and all once again. I need to say what a day and what a session. It is indeed a great pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for this wonderful technical session on research ethics. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Renuka Sagar Garu, who is our own beloved director, for her enthusiastic approach towards the topic. Ma'am, thank you for your detailed, crystal clear explanation about authorship, research misconduct, plagiarism, paraphrasing, peer reviewing process, conflict of interest, and data management through interesting polls and case studies. Ma'am, thanks for keeping our participants engaged and active throughout the session. Our chat box is already flooded with the messages, and we have been receiving messages for such an excellent and nice session. Thank you for this concluding, which is remarkable. Thank you, ma'am. I hope all our participants have benefited a lot out of this session. I thank all the participants for their active and engaging participation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Vasavi. At the end, dear friends, doing the right thing doesn't automatically bring success, but compromising ethics always leads to failure. Please remember this dialogue in your dictionary of memory. Thank you all once again. Thanks a lot for having such a wonderful participants in this 10-day FDP, and especially today, I enjoyed. Thank you once again. So we will start the valedictory session in just a couple of minutes. We will not be delaying it further. Just give us 2 minutes of time. Over to Dr. Vijaya. I request all the participants to not to leave the meeting, because we would have the valedictory session very shortly, and immediately during the valedictory session we would put the feedback link. And if you take up the feedback link only for today also, taking your time into consideration, we would definitely consider your attendance for issuing of the certificate. So my humble request, please do not leave, do not leave, and stay connected. And the valedictory would be only for a very, very, very short while, not more than max to max, 15-20 minutes.
Ma'am, principal ma'am has joined.
Dear participants, can you please mute your microphones? Yeah. Good morning, madam. Good morning, principal madam. Good morning.
Good morning, Renuka.
Good morning. Madam, we are going to start the valedictory in 2 minutes. I'm just checking whether Sudarshan Reddy sir has joined or not. Which is
Ma'am,
yeah.
sir joined just now, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Renuka. Yeah.
Sir, can we start the valedictory session, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, sir, just 1 minute, sir. Just a minute.
Your presentation is over on research ethics.
Yes, sir. It's over, sir.
So how was the one?
Yeah, sir, we can ask the audience if they can unmute and tell. Yeah, 1 or 2 audience can unmute and tell How was my session?
No problem. I know, I can guess. So no problem. We'll see.
Yes.
I would like to hear from the audio version.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Right.
Later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once Professor Nageshwara sir joins, we will quickly start off with the program. So 1 minute, 1 minute, sir.
ఎట్లుందా హెల్త్ అది నేను
Yeah. Dr. Vijaya, can we start with the program? Dr. Vijaya? Dr. Vijaya, can we start with the program?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Professor Nageshwara sir is going to join in couple of minutes. So let us not make the audience wait. One small request to the ICT coordinator. The capacity of the Zoom meeting is only 500. We have almost reached to 500. In that case, if when sir wants to join, I want one faculty member from business management to leave the meeting and allow sir to admit sir to join. ICT coordinator, please. Please look into the matter.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Noted.
Capacity is only 500. We have got 499. Right. Now, fine. Over to Dr. Vijaya.
Thank you, ma'am. A warm welcome to the valedictory program of the 10-day FDP on advanced research methods. At the outset, I welcome our principal, Dr. Achita Devi, our college secretary, Professor Sudarshan Reddy sir, the secretary of HMBS, Professor Mutyam Reddy sir, and all the participants who have attended the program for the last 10 days and availed, I should say, made a great learning out of this program. I now request our principal, Dr. Achita Devi, to speak a few words.
Thank you, Vijaya. Good morning, everyone. Respected Mutyam Reddy sir, Secretary, Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam, which is our parent organization. Professor G. Sudarshan Reddy sir, Secretary cum correspondent of our college. Warm greetings to all the dignitaries, resource persons, and dear participants. Hearty congratulations to the Department of Business Management for organizing such an enriching faculty development program on advanced research methodology sponsored by ICSSR. I strongly believe that research inspires personal growth and development among individuals and groups. Teachers bring their expertise to their classroom, and by actively sharing the knowledge they have gained through research, They are instrumental in contributing to the knowledge base of the students. All the sessions of the 10-day faculty development program have been meticulously planned by the organizers, that is starting from what is the importance of data and analysis and ending with research ethics. I think all the important ingredients for good research have been covered. I am sure with the high quality content delivery of our expert speakers coupled with practical orientation has enabled our participants to learn the advanced tools of analysis and their applications besides understanding the use of statistical software like SPSS. Every journey has to begin and end. On this occasion of the valedictory function of the ICSSR sponsored FDP, I take this opportunity to thank all our enthusiastic participants who have attended all the 10 sessions and making this program a grand success. I once again congratulate Professor Renuka Sagar and her team for organizing this program and wish that they organize many such programs in days to come. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I now welcome Professor Sudarshan Reddy sir, our secretary of the college, to please speak a few words.
Very good morning. Thank you, Vijaya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So the principal, the director of the MBA program, who is also the coordinator of this faculty development program, the faculty of the college, faculty across the country who are part of this program and currently who are part of this valedictory function. I congratulate everybody, particularly the director and the faculty who made it. Initially, I thought 10-day FDP faculty development program means very long, tedious, but 10 days is over just like that. And every day listening to one good resource person and one very experienced and learned members from across the universities and research organizations. And the themes have been selectively planned, and this is essentially planned to benefit, I think, the faculty more, and also I think senior postgraduate students, because this is advanced level of program on research methodology. So couple of times I just joined the sessions and the participants were in large number, which is very important, as well as a very happy sign. So large number of faculty members and research scholars seems to have benefited from this 10-day faculty development program sponsored by Indian Council of Social Science Research, Southern Regional Center located at Usmania University. So I'm really happy, and I also on behalf of the management welcome Professor Nageshwara Garu, who is going to join this program, this brief program, very soon as chief guest, and who's a good friend of mine. So I once again congratulate the faculty of Department of Business Management led by Professor Renuka Sagar, and also senior faculty members like Bindu, Vijaya, Lalita Pravina, and others. So I once again thank the organizers for inviting me to be part of this valedictory program. Thank you very much, and thank you all.
Thank you so much for the words. And yes, sir, the 10 days have just went on a fleet and went off in a very smooth manner. I think it was designed in a very comfortable manner to the participants also. So it did go off well. And I now welcome Professor Mutyam Reddy, sir, to express and share a few words. Renuka ma'am, sir has joined.
Fine, sir, in the meeting, you can continue.
Okay. Yeah. So I now welcome Dr. Lalita Praveena to present the report of these 10-day ICSSR sponsored FDP. Dr. Lalita?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to present the 10-day FDP program report that we have organized on behalf of the Department of Business Management, R.B. Werer College, and also in association sponsored by ICSSR. The 10-day ICSSR sponsored faculty development program was conducted by the Department of Business Management. As a researcher, I think it is mandatory for everyone to know the basics and have a core idea in order to satisfy the purpose of research, and also to establish an acceptable conclusion regarding the same. So this FDP, the basic intention was to orient participants towards developing their own understanding of research with due attention at every stage of research, and also a special focus on the analysis part of the research, which is the crux of any research study, if you all agree with me. This FDP program received an overwhelming response from nearly 1,200 participants all over the country, as well as from abroad also. The inaugural session was started by a welcome address by Dr. Himabindu, Associate Professor, Department of Business Management. And as per tradition, the program started by a prayer song, followed by the lighting of the lamp by Chief Guest Professor Usha Kiran, Honorary Director, ICSSR, South Central Region, and Professor of Commerce, Usmania University. Professor Mutyam Reddy Garu, Secretary, Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam, Professor Sudarshan Reddy Garu, Secretary cum Correspondent of the college, Dr. Achita Ma'am, Principal of the college, Professor Renuka Sagar Ma'am, Director and Head Department of Business Management were all part to that. After invoking the lamp, Principal Dr. J. Achita briefed the audience about the history of the college. Later, Professor Mutyam Reddy Garu and Professor Sudarshan Reddy Garu welcomed all the delegate participants and invited the speakers on behalf of the college and wished a grand success to the organizers. The chief guest then addressed the gathering and briefed on various initiatives and funding policies offered by ICSSR for the benefit of the teaching fraternity. Madam also motivated us to conduct a workshop on article writing to complete the 10-day long 2 FDPs that the department has organized till date in association with ICSSR. Day 1, the first technical session started with analysis of data and techniques by Dr. Ranjani, Vice Principal, Nizam College. She gave a detailed explanation on how to collect data, difference between descriptive and exploratory, as well as inferential statistics. Day 2, the second technical session on descriptive statistics using Excel. This session was handled by Dr. Lokananda Reddy Airala, Associate Professor in Department of Business Management, University of Hyderabad. Sir explained how to use Excel for data analysis. More specifically, the descriptive part of it, the descriptive statistics, what we call, with the formulas relating to them. The day 3 technical session started on exploring of parametric data, parametric tests, dependent, independent t-test, ANOVA test, repeated measures of ANOVA by Professor Syed Sultana, Principal, Matrushri Institute of Postgraduate Studies. She gave a brief overview of basic terminologies, steps in hypothesis testing, types of parametric tests, t-tests, 2-sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, 2-way analysis of ANOVA with live examples. Day 4, The fourth session was on creating graphs, histogram, box plots, whisker plots, error bar charts, variable and scatter diagram. Dr. Kandela Ramesh, Assistant Professor of Business Analytics, Geetham University, was the invited speaker for this session. The session focused on statistical graphs, histograms, polygon relationship between mean, median, mode, box and whisker plot with examples, scatter plot, line chart, bar graph, pie chart, to name a few. Day 5 was on structural equation model. This was taken by Dr. Murugan Pattuswamy, Associate Professor, School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad. The session covered explanation on confirmatory factor analysis to verify the measurement models and path analysis, to quantify the relationships among multiple variables with Jamovi, enabling the participants to test hypothetical relationship among theoretical constructions, as well as those between constructs and their observed indicators. Day 6, the sixth technical session was on multiple linear and stepwise regression with case studies. This was taken by Dr. V.V. Haragopal, Director AI and ML, Aizen Algo Limited, Hyderabad. Sir gave a detailed explanation of t-test for simple regression and f-test for multiple regression. Sir explained about multiple regression models with case studies, how to remove potential exploratory variables in succession, and testing for statistical significance for each iteration. Day 7 on patent and filing process. This was the 7th day, where the session speaker was Dr. Ravi Pandey, RRTP Master Trainer, Research Establishment Officer, IIT Kanpur. He gave an overview on types of patent filing, patents for software, foreign patent filing, etc. 8th day, the technical session was on non-parametric test with special reference to Kruskal-Wallis test. This was taken by Dr. Sushil Kumar Tyagi, former professor, Dean and Head, School of Education, Devi Ahilya University. Sir focused on non-parametric test, the characteristic features and assumptions of Kruskal-Wallis test, one-way ANOVA, MAX, Kolmogorov and Smirnov test. A new non-parametric Levine test for equal variances were also highlighted by the session speaker. 9th day technical session was on exploratory factor analysis by Professor Indrakant Sir, the senior most professor at CES, focusing on exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, procedure for factor analysis, selection of variables, 15 by 15 correlation matrix, factor loading of selected factors in correlation with selected variables. Day 10, that is today, we had a session from Professor Renuka Sagar, Director and Head Department of Business Management on research ethics. Madam spoke about research ethics and the various moral issues that are affecting the ethicality of research today, including plagiarism, authorship, conflict of interest, to name a few. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Vijaya Ma'am for the valedictory session to continue. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Lalita. I now welcome Professor Mutyam Reddy Sir to the valedictory program. Sir, Renkaman, sir has joined?
Yeah, we are checking. So
Okay.
just a minute. Dr. Vijaya, Nageshwara sir would join now. So
We'll wait for a minute.
yeah, 1 second.
Ma'am,
Nageshwara
sir joined, ma'am, sir joined.
Please, Lalita, can you please make Nageshwara sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, done.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir's microphone is not to be seen, I think. Just a minute. Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Madam, is it audible?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir. Good morning.
Okay.
Sir, we have in the meeting Professor.
Good morning, Nageswara garu.
Good morning, Nageshwara garu.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Nageswara garu.
Very good morning, sir. Very good morning.
How are you?
Welcome.
Fine, I'm doing fine.
Good, good, good. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Even I too very happy to see you, Sudarshan Reddy garu.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Good
Wonderful.
morning.
కొంచెం స్పీడ్ తగ్గిస్తావు ఫ్యాన్ లేకుంటే ఆఫ్ చేస్తాను.
Good morning, Nageshwara garu.
సార్ ముత్యం రెడ్డి గారు, హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
Fine, fine. How about
చాలా
you?
హ్యాపీ, చాలా హ్యాపీ. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐ థాట్ ఆఫ్ టేకింగ్ యువర్ నేమ్ ఓన్లీ ఫస్ట్, దెన్ ఫాలోడ్ బై సుదర్శన్ రెడ్డి, దెన్ ఆల్ ది మెంబర్స్. సో హ్యాపీ. Venuka madam, shall I continue?
Yes, Dr.
Because I'm
Vijaya.
in inspection.
Okay, nimsham, sir. Dr. Vijaya, please can you continue?
Yeah. Sir, good morning, Nageswara sir.
Very good morning,
and
madam.
Good morning, sir. Mutyam Reddy sir. Sir, Mutyam Reddy sir, I welcome you to the valedictory program and request you to address a few words. And then I think we will request our chief guest, Nageswara sir, to start his address. So first, sir, a few words from you, sir. Mutyam Reddy sir.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, at the outset, let me welcome our chief guest, Professor Nageshwara garu, and all the participants, and Professor Sudarshan Reddy garu, and colleagues of the department. Yeah, I congratulate the department for organizing this 10-day program on advanced research methodology. I hope all the participants had a good experience, knowledge about research methodology and all. And I also thank the State Council and the department at the university. Okay, I think not the time to speak much on this. I don't want to stand before the chief guest and the participants. Once again, I congratulate the head department of business management and our team for organizing this methodology course wonderfully. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I now extend a warm welcome to the chief guest of today's valedictory program, Professor Nageshwara Rao sir, to the program and then to address the gathering. Before that, I request Dr. Mrs. Vasavi, faculty member of the department, to introduce the guest for today.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of the Department of Business Management, RBVRR Women's College, I take the privilege of introducing the chief guest for the valedictory session, Professor R. Nageshwara Rao garu. Professor R. Nageshwara Rao garu was born in an agriculture family in Khammam district in the year 1963. Sir has completed graduation in BCom from SR and BGNR College, Khammam in the year 1985 and subsequently completed his MBA from University College of Commerce and Business Management, Osmania University. After MBA, Professor Rao had a short stint of 1 year as an analyst and program officer at Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mumbai. The academic journey of Professor Nageshwara Rao sir at Osmania University started in the year 1989 as assistant professor in the Department of Business Management. Subsequently, he was awarded PhD from Osmania University in the year 1994. Sir also has an international academic presence at the capacity of professor and specific project director in various countries, which predominantly include Associate Professor, Sharjah University, UAE, Director, Business Management at College of Administrative Sciences, Sultanate of Oman, Visiting Faculty, College of Business Administration, Colombo, Sri Lanka, Visiting Faculty, University of Luton, United Kingdom, invited by Ministry of HRD, Government of Hong Kong, chaired a session in Xinjiang University, Taiwan, visited Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, delivered keynote address at Lincoln University, Malaysia, visited Alliant International University, USA. Sir also visited Hanoi Industrial and Technical University, Vietnam. Sir resumed his services at Usmania University after 4 years of international academic exposure and was promoted to professor in the year 2006. Professor Rao has made several paper presentations at IITs, published 30 national and international articles, and authored 6 books for Center for Distance Education, Usmania University, and 2 books in the area of finance. Sir has chaired an innumerable number of seminars and delivered keynote addresses at several national and international seminars. Professor Rao has successfully supervised 17 PhDs and 5 MPhil degrees. Sir's contribution to academics cannot be concluded without mentioning the practical applications of management education in the field of academic administration. Sir has served Usmania University at various capacities like co-convener, ICSSR entrance test, Director, Directorate of Admissions, Usmania University, Director, IQAC, Usmania University, Controller of Examinations, Usmania University, Chairman, Board of Studies, Department of Business Management, Usmania University, Director, Infrastructure, Director, Directorate of Academic Audit, Officer on Special Duty to Vice Chancellor, and also Dean and Head, Faculty of Management, Usmania University. Presently, Professor Nageshwara Garu is serving as Senior Professor, Department of Business Management, Usmania University. Sir is also a recipient of Bharat Gaurav Award at national level for the year 2016 and Dronacharya Award for the year 2018. Sir, we are so honored and extremely overwhelmed to have you as a chief guest for today's valedictory session. Sir, we welcome you.
Thank you, Mrs. Vasvi.
Thank you
Yes,
very
sir,
much,
warm
madam.
welcome, sir. Yes, we were eager to
Thank you
listen
so
to
much indeed. It's like, when I'm joining for a seminar in RBVRR, I feel that it's my family, it's my group of members I am joining. This is because of a couple of reasons. One is retired Professor Mutyam Reddy Garu, who is also a very active person even now, and is also honorary secretary of the Hyderabad Mahila Sangha. And another proud colleague, retired professor from Usmania University, Sudarshan Reddy Garu. And the next important point, Renuka Sagar, who completed PhD under my guidance. I think she is also the director of the program. And all the faculty members who are working in the RBVR are known to me. And this is really, it's not your privilege. It is my privilege to be a part of this FDP program. And conducting FDP program for 10 days is not a very easy job. But at the same time, we should be thankful to all the participants and the faculty, teaching, non-teaching, and proudly also grateful to the ICSSR Southern Region and also the State Council of Higher Education, Telangana, for their academic support, extension of the academic support in this one. And I think you have taken a very challenging topic, that is research methodology. I will give one quotation before this one. It is something like that, whether the research is qualitative or not, definitely it is decided by the what kind of methodology you have been adopted. Even that UGC also come out with a white paper, and research cannot be an innovation, but sometimes the research also can be an innovation. Second UGC point also told, they don't want research, they want an innovation. Innovation in the sense, and chairman of that UGC came out with one important point. If your research is able to get a one patent or a copyright or some other right for some time, and if that is able to generate either the money or generate the value to the society, then it is called as a true research. And the true research, definitely it is going to be based on the research methodology only. Nearly 150 theses I have valued throughout India. Of course, I have not rejected any thesis, even though some thesis bound to reject, which I have not done. But what I'm trying to feel is that Once you register for a PhD, or you're trying to produce a research paper, I request you kindly sleep for some time. Not that sleep, you try to sleep with the problem. When you're trying to sleep with the problem, so many questions will be arising. You put on the paper. Once you are problem is very clear, when the gap is very clear, population is very clear, and then the sample size is very clear, and what is kind of direct data or indirect data you're getting, and what kind of primary data you're getting, what kind of secondary data you're getting. Once you are able to clear all these things, then I can say that your research methodology is very strong. Sometimes you see, to go through this research methodology, you need to go through the structured systems development life cycle. Most of the time, what is happening, my dear participants, we're trying to find a solution to the problem where the problem is not clear. I repeat, you're trying to find a problem to the solution, right? But problem is not clear. When the problem is not clear, how you are going to find a solution to the problem? That is what in the research methodology, in a simple terms, in a very simple terms, I'll tell you, everybody is having a very good idea on the block diagram of a computer. Block diagram of a computer. That is input, process, output. Output is, it is something like, your research findings and the recommendations. But my contention is that, my perception is that when you are not able to get a good inputs, validated inputs, when the inputs are wrong, is it possible to get a good output? Not possible. Second thing, and you got the very good inputs, but your process is not correct. Here the process is called methodology. And when your process is not correct, and your output is also not correct, that means you have to make sure that what kind of inputs you are getting, what kind of process you are adopting, that means what kind of methodology you are adopting, right? That methodology, what kind of result it is producing, and how you are going to analyze the results or interpret the results, then the thing is going to be clear findings and the clear recommendations. And without clear findings and the clear recommendations are going to be possible. That is what these 10 days, I think under the guidance of your management, Renuka Sagar has undertaken this project of FDP conducting 10 days is not, and I have seen the report of I have listened the report of the FDP program for almost 10 days we have conducted. I think most of the people you have drawn to deliver the lecture, and they are well qualified and they are eligible to give such lectures. And generally, I have seen FDP programs on the research methodology either 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day. But conducting of 10 days FDP program, this is going to give a very clear, in-depth aspect, right? I'm sure that all the students are very much equipped with that one. And what I'm trying to say, you produce 100 pages, but see that your methodology is correct, your rationale is correct, problem is correct, scope is correct, nature is correct. When all these things are not correct, you see, definitely you cannot develop the objectives. When you're not in a position to develop the objectives, and you cannot develop the hypothesis. When the objectives are not correct, hypothesis is not correct, definitely you cannot adopt a good methodology. This is my, few aspects you see as a chief guest of the valedictory function. I'm sure that I think when I was interacting Renuka madam in the morning today, more than 1,000 has been registered. And even I can see that nearly 445 people online, they are listening actually. This is really the good number which I have seen in the recent lectures. And this is only possible when there is a coordination among the faculty under the leadership of the management, under the directorship of the Renuka Sagar. And I'm sure that all the faculty members who are working in the business management, they have been extended excellent, great cooperation to Renuka Sagar. That is what this program is going to be very successful. So I take this opportunity. When you're not clear, don't start the research. Till getting the research, you try to sleep with the problem, number one. Number two, you alone cannot decide the problem. That problem need to be discussed with the various people, experts. Once you discuss with the various experts, then the problem is going to be very clear. And the third important point, till you are getting the problem very clear, don't start your research. If you start the research, you see, without clarification of the problem, and you are going to get the confusion, and that confusion only, you are going to produce certain results. That results also not very clear to you. That means your findings are not clear. When your findings are clear, whatever you are going to suggest, that is also not clear. That means our research is at the crossroads. Clarity is not there. Second important thing, always the Minister of Higher Education, they are expecting that the research should lead to innovation. Research is separate, innovation is separate. Our country required the innovation, but innovation is possible with the right research only. That means your research is able to produce a certain copyrights or certain patent rights. Definitely it is going to be an excellent one. That's what. When I was working in UK, I have seen some people. I across one person very recently, and he joined for PhD program in MBA department. He is already having 4 PhD degrees. I told him, already you are having a 4 PhD degrees. Why you are looking for the 5th one? And he said, I want to create a record. I laughed at it. What kind of record you are going to consider? Why you want to create a 5 PhDs? Is it not that you are denying the opportunity of the others? This is the one. And when I was working in UK, I was so fascinated to do one more PhD from the UK. I went to my dean and vice chancellor. I requested them, please give me the PhD admission. They said, Professor Nageshwar Rao, you are already having a PhD from Usman University, which is the best university in the world, one of the best universities in the world, right? And why you want to do a PhD one more time? Instead of doing the PhD, you try to write a very good articles, try to have a good copyrights, patent rights. That is going to be the enhancing the value of the research. That is the word value, which I have remembered, madam. Value creation. When you're doing the PhD, create some value. Of course, because we are beginners, we are not in a position to create a good value while doing the PhD. But what I'm trying to say, even after the PhD, don't relax. And by publishing scopus articles, by writing excellent books, by giving a lot of national seminars, right? See, the extension of your PhD, you try to do it. And that should lead to creation of the innovation. That also should lead to filing a copyright or the patent. When you file a copyright or a patent, then I can say that innovation has taken place. Then it is a 100% success of your research. But the success of your research based on what kind of methodology you have adopted. That is the most important. And I take this opportunity, the entire management fraternity of the RBVRR, whenever there is a seminar and they remind me, they invite me, I never said no to any seminar conducted by the RBVRR. My special thanks goes to Mutyam Reddy Garu, and my special thanks also goes to Sudarshan Reddy Garu, and all my blessings goes to my student Renuka Sagar. And if you are going to accept my blessings also to the rest of the faculty who are in the business management. I take this opportunity, congratulate all the participants. I'm sure that you have arrived to a certain conclusion. Please carry this conclusion, and whatever the knowledge you have gained, you try to disseminate to the other members in your college. This is the chain approach actually. And when you're able to teach to at least one person in your college, then definitely you're going to be very successful. And that is what I expect all the participants to do it. Once again, I wish you all the best, and we'll wait for the next seminar. I don't know what Renuka Sagar and his team members are going to conduct it. I appreciate for the initiation of this daily topic taken by the college. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful words. Today you made the Department of Business Management Day, sir. Over to Vijaya.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your wonderful message.
Thank you, Vidya madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And actually, yes, as you rightly said, it's a process, research, and the focus of the FDP was on the input and so much on the process, the tools and the methods used there, so that the outcomes are good. And I also thank you for the message you have delivered that the research should be leading to creation, a new value creation in the form of innovation. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And I now request, before I think we try to conclude the program, I request the participants to please share any impressions. Interested participants? Anyone, please?
You can unmute and you can speak out. We can take up 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Good morning, Harshita. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Really, it was a very nice session. All the sessions were very lively. And what I feel that really such type of rejuvenation is needed sometime when we are not motivated, when we are in a monotonous job. So really these type of FDP, they are the source of motivation for we as academician, like from administration. Let us come back to our core teaching and research work, which is very mandatory for academician. So these type of workshop FDP and advanced research methodology, they are very knowledge enhancing. And from core of my heart, I thanks to everyone, those who have put their hardcore effort, and every session speaker, they try to justify their topic and they make it very comfortable for every one of us so that we can understand to a very greater depth. Thank you so much. Thanks to the organizer and thanks to all these session speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Harshita. Anybody else wants to share? You're most welcome.
Ma'am.
Yes, please.
Very good afternoon. I am Dr. Vinod Sinha, professor of Sri Balaji University. Right from beginning of the workshop, I went through in depth whatever resource person was taking us, talking, giving the assignment, and interacting with the participant. You have synchronized each and every constituent of the research in such a way so that all the participants will get a composition and a whole image of research. And ma'am, I really appreciate the last session. 100% learning from your session. The way you conducted and interacted on the issue where not many of us are going through. So a lot of thanks to all the organizer and your team, and you have taken a lot of effort to get interacted with all of us and given a lot of valuable input so that we can able to superfine our research in coming days. Thank you so much, ma'am, and entire team. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vinod. Yeah. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Neerja.
Myself, Neeraja, a research scholar and faculty of Valedictory Degree and PG College. And the overall 10 days FDP program was very nice, ma'am. And today's session was like, I was very much, it was very informative, and I was very much actively participating from the first poll question itself, and it was very interactive, ma'am. And it is very impressive, ma'am. And I was, if anyone would like to organize any FDPs, can off your methods, ma'am, because it is, the session is making us interactive, and we are also making, giving our 100% concentration in the session so that we can, it is also giving us knowledge, ma'am. Thank you for this session, ma'am.
Thank you, Neerja. And I think Dr. Albino also wants to share. Dr. Albino, you want to share your impression?
Respected ma'am, very good afternoon, ma'am. This is Ravindra Kumar.
Yeah, please.
Doctoral Fellow, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Bihar, Department of Management Sciences. Ma'am, we learn a lot with these 10 days ICSSR sponsored FDP program organizing by you, ma'am. I am very thankful to you. I have learned a lot. I research area that is the international trade of India with the select big sectors, that is the India and Russia, India and China. We have learned a lot.
Perfect.
About how to parametric analysis done, how to
I would feel, and also the sequencing of your workshop actually also helped us. Ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes.
So, yeah, good morning, ma'am. So good morning to one and all. So myself, I'm G. Harikrishna, faculty of Valedictory Degree and PG College, Hanamakunda, ma'am. So, madam, today morning I have joined. Since that time, really, I was impressed very much, and it was a wonderful session. I got so much information regarding research analysis and predicting data. So many things I got from your session, madam. And thanks to this workshop, madam. So thank you, and all, madam.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes, please.
Myself, K. Naupal Reddy. I am from Geetanjali College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. First of all, I am going to thankful to organizers. Such a wonderful session offered to the faculty members and research scholars. And it is very useful and motivate us to do the research work, oriented work. It is useful to the, in future who are going to done the PhD, these kind of sessions. And please, again and again, conduct these kind of FDPs in the future. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is
Hello.
Bhavna. Good afternoon,
Hello.
madam. This is Bhavna from
Yes, sir.
Geetanjali College. Madam, this session was very interesting and very useful, and it is an excellent session. Starting from day 1 to till day 10. So we find we learned a lot of things in your session, and moreover, the last session, that is the research ethics, whatever we have discussed, you have discussed today, no? It was a wonderful session, and really we don't even know these things will be taken into the consideration. And really, it was a very good session, madam. And thank you very much for this FDP. And I hope so you will be conducting these type of FDPs in future, and we'll be gaining the knowledge from that. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, madam.
Hello.
Good afternoon, madam. This is Sheikh Nazir from NRI Institute of Technology. First of all, I would like to thank each and every organizer for conducting this session. And I would like to thank Dr. Renuka Sagar for an informative session. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. I think we'll just take one more impression.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, please.
First of all, thanks to all the resource persons and the whole organizing team. It was really a very insightful and indeed enriching program to be part of. And it's really a great learning. So patiently, each and every resource person has explained our doubts, be it a very minimal or a very good one. And it was really an enriching session. To be part of this program, it was really a very welcoming. And yes, looking future ahead for such more programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Barkati. And I must thank you all.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Myself, Maruf Rahman, research scholar, Maulana Azad University. I would like to thank organizer of this FDT 10 days FDP program, which was conducted in a smooth way and excellent session throughout the 10 days delivered by resource person. I got a lot of from this workshop, and it was indeed on advanced research methodology. We got a lot, and it will help us in a very better way for the excellent research. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, namaste, ma'am. I am Dr. Kumar Abhishek from the KIT Varanasi. Right from the beginning of this FDP, we can say that each day brings a new learning, and the last day is one of the best.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
I'd like to thank each and every person, like a resource person and the participants also, and the organizing team. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, thanks.
So thank you all for the wonderful impressions. And I think I must acknowledge that it is you participants or the participants which make a program also very, very successful. I think the interest and the keenness with which one gains from any program also makes it a great success. So there I would like to, on behalf of the department, thank you all. And before we conclude the program with a formal vote of thanks, let me just announce information that yes, we will share a feedback link at the end of the program. So please bear with us for a few more minutes. And as far as the certificates are concerned, every one of you will please receive the certificate, those who have attended the program, but it will take a few days, at least a week, because the attendance and everything has to be calculated, and the certificates will definitely be sent to you all. So you can just have faith and rest till there. Only if it is delayed beyond a week, you're most welcome to contact. So that's a request from our side. And thank you once again so much for making this program a great success. I now invite our faculty member, Dr. Lalita, to share her or express her formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon. In the words of John F. Kennedy, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. A warm and a cherished afternoon to our most valued Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Nageshwara Garu, Honorary Secretary, Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam, Professor Mutyam Reddy Garu, Secretary cum Correspondent of the College, Professor Sudarshan Reddy Garu, Principal Achita Madam, Vice Principal Dr. Kavita, Director MBA Professor Renuka Sagar Ma'am, faculty, and all other dignitaries of this session. I'm really grateful for giving me a chance to deliver a vote of thanks to such an august audience on this occasion. I, on behalf of Department of Business Management, RBVRR Women's College, and the entire fraternity of the college, first of all, extend my most sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor Nageshwara Garu, Director IQSC and Professor Department of Business Management, Usmania University, for having accepted our invitation and consenting to be the chief guest of today's valedictory session. It means a lot that you are with us here today, sir. Sir emphasized the importance of research for not only the academicians, but also to the students to get employed. Profound thanks and gratitude are due to ICSSR and more specifically Professor Usha Kiran Madam, Honorary Director SCRO and Professor Department of Commerce, Usmania University, for providing financial assistance for this FDP and for all the guidance and inspiration throughout the conduct of this program. We are extremely encouraged and look forward for such assistance from them in conduct of programs in future for the benefit of academic community at large. I place on record the goodness of the distinguished panel of speakers, all the delegates and participants from various institutions across the country who have been with us today to participate in this program with great enthusiasm and making this event so memorable. I would especially thank our Secretary cum Correspondent, Professor Sudarshan Reddy Garu, Honorary Secretary, Professor Mutyam Reddy Garu of Hyderabad Mahila Vidya Sangam for their unfaltering support and confidence in us. They have been the backbone of the institution and the guiding force for every new step forward. We have been fortunate to be assisted by our beloved principal, Dr. Achita Devi Ma'am, who have been a constant support and have given a lot of encouragement. The successful culmination owes much to the steering, guidance, and support extended by Professor Renuka Sagar for her meticulous planning in organizing this FDP, and I thank her for the same. My grateful thanks are also directed to all the members of the department for their cooperation and full support, without whose support this FDP would just not have been possible. Thank you all once again, and we look forward for such encouragement from all of you in future too. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Lalita. And I think we can conclude the program, Madam.
Yes,
Madam
Dr. Yes, Dr. Vijaya. You can announce that feedback link will be put in the chat box for some time, and they can.
Yeah, it's already, I think, sent.
Yeah.
The feedback link is shared, ma'am, in the chat box.
So, dear participants, please kindly fill the feedback form. And this will be helping us to issue your participation certificates. Vasavi, are you there? Yeah. Now, participants, can you check the feedback link? Is it open? Is getting open?
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, Lalita, can you make Vasvi the co-host because she has to handle the feedback link?
And dear participants, the department is planning a few more programs soon. We will share the information and the link for the programs with you all. So anybody who's interested are most welcome to join the program, the future programs. Thank you so much.
Request all the participants to fill the feedback link.
I'm very sorry to tell the participants that somebody is circulating, that is a link where it is talking about 10-day FTP, but it talks about your net worth is your net worth. So please, sent by Joshi, Associate Professor, Gujarat. We have not circulated that link. Please kindly don't fill the wrong link. There is one more link which is circulated. I'm very sorry. Please don't fill the wrong link. The minute you open, you have to see the link titled as RBVRR Women's College. One person has circulated by Dr. Divyang Joshi, Associate Professor, a wrong link to the participants. Very sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm posting the correct feedback link into the chat box. You can access it from there. As already informed, it might take us a week to issue you a certificate. All the participants who have filled the feedback form can leave the meeting.
Ma'am, shall we end the meeting?